Hey everyone, Rarity Dash here. Time for another Patreon-sponsored blind reaction. And this one comes to you courtesy of Mario Fanboy 15, who has requested that I react to another video from the Angry Video Game Nerd. Yep, kind of been a while. I mean, we've done some other videos from James lately, a couple non-nerd videos, but been a while since the last actual nerd one, and kind of good to get back to it. And this time we've got Swordquest as the subject of review today, and I'm not familiar with that game. Never heard of it. Honestly, it seems like about the most generic title you could come up with for like a fantasy RPG type deal. Just you have a sword and you're on a quest. So, Sword Quest. But, yeah, never heard of this game. Know nothing about it. But I'm interested to learn. So let's go ahead and get this started. Here we go. Cinemassacre. The Angry Video Game Nerd, episode 88. First aired February 18th, 2010. Been a while.
He's gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty game and suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer.
Just some vivid imagery in this theme song.
The angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
Alright. Sword Quest.
Once upon a time,
It's an
video
Atari
games
game?
were more than games.
Or-
They were adventures. I'm talking about the Swordquest games for the Atari 2600.
Huh?
They were based on the four ancient elements of the cosmos: Swordquest Earthworld, Fireworld, Waterworld. We're not talking about the Kevin Costner.
Good.
And at last, there was going to be Airworld. In these games, the player navigates through a series of mystical chambers in search of hidden treasures. But you weren't just playing a game, you were on a real adventure searching for real treasures. Atari was giving out prizes, and we're not talking about cheap plastic little things you get from a McDonald's Happy Meal. No man, this was real stuff. Here's how it worked. First, you'd have to buy the games, which all came out one at a time. If you
Okay.
became a club member, they'd mail you a t-shirt along with the games as soon as they got released. Not to mention, each game came with a poster and a DC comic book.
Oh, that's cool.
The games were all about finding
Free
clues,
comic book.
so you'd write down all the clues and
I mean,
send
you
them
have to
to
pay for the
Atari.
game, but-
Those who found the most would go to Atari headquarters to compete in the finals. Here they'd have custom-made versions of the game, which the players had 90 minutes to finish. Whoever finished first would win the prize. The winner of Earthworld got a talisman made of 18-karat solid gold studded with 12 diamonds.
Well, that's
and
kinda
the
awesome.
stones of the 12 zodiac signs. The winner of Fireworld got a chalice made of platinum and gold studded with diamonds, rubies, sapphires, pearls, and green jade.
Wow.
The winner of Waterworld would get a crown made of gold decorated with diamonds, rubies, sapphires, and aquamarines. The winner of Airworld would get a Philosopher's Stone, a large piece of white jade encased in an 18-karat gold box adorned with emeralds.
Probably not a
rubies, and
real
diamonds.
Philosopher's Stone.
Damn. According to Atari's advertising campaign, these prizes were valued at $25,000 each. But that wasn't
real
all.
Philosopher's Stone
Four
would be worth
winners
more.
would come back for one final competition, and the winner of that would win a jewel-encrusted sword with an 18-karat
Huh?
gold handle and a silver blade covered with diamonds,
Did
emeralds,
they
sapphires,
actually
and rubies.
give this stuff
the
out?
sword was valued at $50,000. In total, that's $150,000 worth of treasure. This was in 1982 and 83, so you can balance that out.
Not since the medieval times have I heard of a treasure quest of this magnitude. It gets you really excited to play the games, so that's what I call a promotion. You be wearing
Yeah?
your Sword Quest t-shirt with your comic books and posters, drinking out of your
Was
gold
the game
chalice
awful,
with
though?
your crown, Philosopher's Stone, and sword, and not to mention your Sword Quest video gaming cartridges exclusive from Atari.
Well, too bad the contest is all over, so there's not
Yeah.
much point in playing the games today. If you picked up one of these games right now with no instruction manual and no explanation, you wouldn't have any idea what to do. Every time you go to the next room, it sounds like an explosion. That's what's
Yeah?
so great about Atari. Something as simple as going through a door is an event. Every room's a different color, and there's no end. It just keeps going and going. If you look at the manual, you'll see that each room represents a sign from the zodiac, and if you keep
Huh?
moving, you'll come around full circle. But there's only so many colors, so it's easy to confuse Aries with Libra or Capricorn with Leo. Each room has a hidden chamber where you find treasures, but sometimes before you get to the treasure, you have to pass through a nuclear waterfall or jump on laser rafts.
Okay.
These kind of games, you gotta use a lot of imagination. When you get to a treasure chamber, you can pick up items or drop them. By putting the right combination of items in a certain room, you'll trigger a clue.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Now what could that mean? 16:4. The comic book.
Oh.
Page 16, panel 4. I don't see anything. Oh. Wow.
Okay. Oh. Oh, this is kind of neat.
There's 10 hidden words, and they're supposed to make a sentence, but 5 of them are bogus. The only way to figure out which are the right words is to find a subliminal hint on the first page. The words prime and number are a different color than the rest, so this means you only use the clues that are prime numbers. Let me tell you, in 1982, people had a lot of time on their hands and a lot of creativity to figure this out. Out of 5,000 entries, only 8 gamers got the right sentence.
Oh, wow.
The winner was 20-year-old Stephen Bell. Good work.
Good for that
man.
guy.
The second game, Fireworld, was basically the same principle, except this time the rooms are laid out to follow the Tree of Life. The only things that are very different from the first game are the action sequences. What are we doing here? Hitting birds with a pole? Throwing knives? Now you're actually steering knives into a turkey club sandwich.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a black eagle shooting bullets at snakes. All with glorious Atari sound effects.
Not sure what any of this has to do with your Swordquest, but...
I think this game was a little easier than Earthworld because this time over 50 gamers found all the clues. So Atari had sort of a tiebreaker where they made everyone write down what they liked about the game.
Oh.
Damn, that's a good game.
Well,
Gee
that's
whiz,
kind of...
I sure love that game.
subjective.
And somehow, based on those answers, they narrowed it down to 50 contestants. Michael Rideout was the final winner and received the Golden Chalice. The third game, Waterworld, is when the shit hit the fan.
Oh.
The infamous video game crash of
Because they didn't make
1983 was taking
Airworld,
effect,
right?
and Waterworld was released in a limited quantity, making this an extremely rare game.
Okay.
It had only 7 rooms, significantly less than the previous games. This
Everything
time
goes
it was
wrong
based on the
with
chakra
Waterworld.
structure. Appropriately, its action scenes all had something to do with water. Either you're trying to swim around sharks, dodge squids, or hop on icebergs. The
Makes
contest
sense.
never happened.
I guess
The
those other
party's
games kind of make
financial
sense for
problems led them to
Airworld.
sell
Oh.
the company and pull the plug on
Oh.
the whole thing. The
So
fourth
no
game,
Philosopher's Stone.
Airworld, is just what it is. Air.
Oh, no,
It
that
never got made.
wasn't even
The
Airworld.
prototype
That was-
has been rumored and even hoaxed.
It's a very sad end to what
Never
could
mind.
have been the greatest gaming event in history.
What
An
was the second
adventure
one, then?
series with rooms based off mythology, came with comic books, a chance to win real treasures, and then it all vanished.
The biggest mystery of all is whatever happened to the remaining treasures.
Yeah.
Eyewitness accounts and pictures prove that they all existed because
Okay.
they were on display during the competition. But where are they now? The guy who bought Atari was a guy named Jack Trammell. Some comments online from people in the business have said that they've seen the sword hanging in Trammell's living room. There's no pictures or any hard evidence to support this, but if he does have the sword, it's most likely he has the crown and the Philosopher's Stone as well.
Somebody's got to find out. The real Swordquest is the quest for that sword and the other treasures. They belong in the hands of gamers who earn them. You know, everybody who put those games in their Ataris had a chance of winning. It was something to dream about, but that dream's been thrown down the toilet. It's 30 years later, but I say the contest must go on. Finish the last game. You can't have earth, fire, and water
Well, it's
without
Fireworld.
air. The balance of the
I thought
cosmos
probably,
must
I mean,
be
to
restored.
go with other
the
ones,
true
but-
bearer of that sword must be found. The kingdom of nerdom depends on it.
Alright. I'm not sure what those games have to do with fire. Screw Attack. I didn't know he was I didn't know he was ever associated with Screw Attack. Did that not last? I don't know. Don't really know much about this stuff, but well, that was interesting. Not really a typical angry video game nerd video. Nothing to really get angry about. The game, I mean, it doesn't look great, but I mean, it's Atari, so what are you gonna do? You had to you had to take what you got with Atari, which I did have an Atari, but I was like 2. I mean, maybe even it was my parents' system, so I remember having an Atari in the house, and I think I remember seeing it get booted up a few times, but I don't. By the time I was even close to being able to play video games, we had moved on to the NES. So, yeah, don't really have any Atari game memories, aside from just like vague ones. But yeah, definitely an interesting story. Those treasures look pretty badass. Like they actually really were giving those out. That's pretty epic. Like I mean. The 2 guys who actually got those got something like that. That's really awesome for them. I mean, that must be like a treasured thing even all these years later, because it's just cool. Like, I mean, like really cool. But yeah, the game, I mean, hard to really judge it by modern standards. Looks kind of weird, and I don't really see the fire in that second game, to the point where I forgot we were even talking Fire World there. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting idea, very innovative. Just this kind of contest tied into a game, and just so many other tie-ins, the comic book and everything. That's pretty cool. Yeah, kind of neat little story here. Something I had never heard of before, and that's what makes it interesting. Anyway, hope you liked the reaction. Let me know if you did, and see you in the next one.